Hallmark movies are a staple for movie lovers everywhere. For every emotion, situation, and iconic actor or actress, there is certainly a Hallmark movie made for you. With so many different films to choose from, sometimes it is hard to know where to start. So we are here to help you decide which Hallmark movie to watch. Here is the scoop on the 50 best Hallmark movies of all time. Before we get started, please like and subscribe to the Sarah Scoop channel. 50. The Lost Valentine. Coming right up, as one of Hallmark's most classic, well-developed films, we have The Lost Valentine. Betty White stars in this film as an elderly woman who has lost trace of her husband, who left to serve in World War II, is approached by a reporter. She then makes it her mission to find out the husband's whereabouts through clues and opening up. This film is truly perfect if you're looking for something both heartfelt and captivating. 49. Christmas Town. Candace Cameron Bure stars in this esteemed Hallmark Christmas film as Lauren, a woman who packs her bags and moves from Boston to a small town called Grandon Falls. There she gains a sense of family and even love, while getting to experience Christmas in a new town with new people. Christmas Town is perfect film for anyone who's experienced being the new kid in town. 48. Love Locks. In this Hallmark movie, a woman named Lindsay decides to make her return to Paris, France after leaving for a 20-year period. Her return ends in her reuniting with her college boyfriend. This is the film to watch if you want to feel spontaneous from the security and comfort of your couch. 47. DATER'S Handbook. Before becoming Duchess of Sussex, Meghan Markle was starring in Hallmark movies like this one. In this film, her character Cass becomes fascinated after reading a book on dating. Upon doing so, she loses herself and changes her whole personality to be the person she thinks people will love. Soon, she realizes none of that was necessary, as the man she wants has been beside her all along. Check out this film to see Meghan Markle's character in a dating frenzy, which is a situation many have been in. 46. A Country Wedding. Being one of Hallmark's most raved about films, it definitely lives up to the hype. Bradley, a country singer, is on path to marrying Catherine, an actress. Before doing so, he takes a trip to his hometown as he plans to sell his childhood home. Then he rekindles his relationship with Sarah, a girl who he loved very much when he was young. A Country Wedding will have you swooning over this young love story. 45. A Royal Christmas. Known for her iconic role as Gretchen Wieners in Mean Girls, Lacey Chabert stars in this film as Emily, a seamstress from Philadelphia. She catches the eye of Prince Leopold of Cordinia as he is completely swept off his feet by her. On the other hand, his mother, the Queen, is not even close to as thrilled as Prince Leopold is. She makes it her mission to split the two apart. Watch Jane Seymour, who you will get an absolute thrill of from this movie. 44. Harvest Moon. Jennifer, who was previously living in the luxury of her trust fund, loses it as her family goes bankrupt and decides to move to a pumpkin farm with the intention of fixing it up. Upon doing so, she gets caught up with the manager of the farm, named Brett. If you are in the mood for some cozy autumn vibes, you will love Harvest Moon. 43. The Christmas Ornament. Kathy has lost her holiday spirit, and just when she thinks it's too late to retrieve any of it, a handsome store owner proves her wrong while bearing a small gift. Initially, she plans to avoid any holiday traditions as to not be reminded of her late husband. She soon realizes that there is still the potential for her to have a future, while still keeping her memories of the times with her husband. Watch Hallmark's The Christmas Ornament to experience self-growth and self-love all at once. 42. All of My Heart. Once again, Lacey Chabert aces her role in Hallmark's All of My Heart. When a woman, named Jenny, unexpectedly inherits half a country home, she becomes thrilled to move away and start her fresh new life. Sounds too good to be true, right? We think so too. The catch is that the co-owner is a Wall Street trader that fits the very opposite of who Jenny is. As the movie continues, they form disagreements over the organization and decorations of the house. Despite their differences, they soon find that living together may not be all so bad if there's a chance for kindling something they're both lacking in their lives. You'll be glued to your screen with this one if you adore Lacey Chabert as much as we do. 41. Right in Front of Me. Carly, played by Pretty Little Liars star Janelle Parrish, takes advice from her friend Nick on how to get her college crush to notice her. She realizes her crush is not the guy she thinks he is. While taking Nick's advice, she finds out who she really has been in love with this whole time. You'll love this movie if you loved seeing Janelle Parrish previously into All the Boys I Loved Before and Pretty Little Liars. 40. Unleashing Mr. Darcy. After deciding to sign up her pup for a dog competition, Elizabeth becomes conflicted by the conniving judge, Donovan Darcy, who she just cannot seem to see eye to eye with. Alas, they must work together regardless and end up growing a connection together. This Hallmark film is the ideal enemies to lovers trope you've been waiting to see. 39. Marrying Mr. Darcy. In the sequel to Unleashing Mr. Darcy, Elizabeth and Donovan Darcy are ready to get married. Only one thing, Elizabeth is a schoolteacher and Donovan is a businessman, and their different worlds make their trip to the wedding day a difficult one. Watch this Hallmark film that will finally give you the closure to Unleashing Mr. Darcy that you've been needing. 38. A Brush with Love. When a struggling artist takes the advice of her best friend to paint her perfect man, as she hopes this will help her find her ideal man. This leads them to finding him in real life. Check out this whirlwind of a romance on Hallmark the channel. 37. Fallen Angel. After a lawyer visits his late father's home to settle affairs and promptly leave, he meets a woman who seems to be familiar. He is then reminded of traumatic events from his childhood, and he feels driven to do something to recover. Fallen Angel is one of Hallmark's darker films with a beautiful meaning. 36. The Note. After a tragic plane crash, a journalist goes to inspect the scene to find a note wash up on the beach shore. She believes it belonged to one of the passengers aboard the plane. While seeking the person who the note may be intended for, she realizes more about her past than ever before. Check out Hallmark's The Note to experience a touching yet riveting story. 35. A Novel Romance. An author who is known for his romance novels decides to move to Portland to get inspiration and recover from writer's block. Unexpectedly, he finds himself falling in love with a renowned novel critic. Despite this, they don't reveal their identities or intentions immediately, which makes for one twist of faith. You'll love this Hallmark movie to see plot twist after plot twist. 34. A Ring by Spring. While Rachel is lonely and questioning her future, she sets out to find the truth by going to a fortune teller. Then she is told by the fortune teller that if she does not marry soon, she may be single for the rest of her life. Naturally, she panics and does everything in her power to make sure she does not have the lonely future that has been predicted for her. A Ring by Spring is the ideal film for you if you desire to watch a film that does not have a dull moment. 33. The Color of Rain. In this Hallmark film, an individual man and woman have just lost their partners due to illness. While they grieve, they begin to bond together and realize how much more they want for their futures and how they will pass grief. Hallmark's The Color of Rain is a phenomenal film that is sure to bring you to tears. 32. Crown for Christmas. In this Hallmark Christmas film, Allie Evans gets fired from her work at a New York City hotel as a maid. Then, she receives the position to work as a governess for a little girl who is part of a royal European family. As Christmas draws closer, she begins to attract the attention of the king, who she may or may not be falling for. P.S. Danica McKellar is incredible in this film, and you'll think so too. 31. When Sparks Fly. Meghan Markle is back in action in this Hallmark film. She plays Amy, a journalist from the big city who travels back to her hometown when she finds out her best friend is engaged to her old flame. As the 4th of July celebration she intended to come home to draws nearer, Amy must come to the conclusion of whether she is still in love with her old lover that she left all those years ago to pursue her career. Watch Meghan Markle go through every emotion in this hometown Hallmark film. 30. A Bone to Pick, Aurora Teagarden Mysteries. Aurora Teagarden has inherited a new house and cannot wait to get digging. She ends up finding a skull hidden in the home. Now she must find out who the victim was and get justice. Truly, you can never go wrong with a good Hallmark mystery, and Aurora Teagarden does it best. 29. Autumn Dreams. Autumn Dreams lives up to the name as a couple who had previously divorced find gaps in their divorce papers and must reunite to fix their dilemma. Upon doing so, they realize their feelings from all those years ago are coming back. Is there a chance for them to get back together officially? Find out in this cozy Hallmark classic. 28. All of My Heart, The Wedding. Brian and Jenny from the original All of My Heart and All of My Heart in Love return for their wedding and couldn't be happier. In the midst of planning their wedding, Jenny receives the news that an unfamiliar relative of hers has claimed the inn as their property. Suddenly, the wedding must come to a halt. Watch Jenny and Brian figure out a solution and make sure their wedding still continues in this classic Hallmark movie. 27. A Princess for Christmas. This film is perfect if you're missing the holiday season. In this Hallmark film, a woman receives an invitation to spend Christmas in a luxurious castle. There she meets a distant relative and a new prince that all have a part to play in her reason for receiving the invitation. Find out what happens in this royal, yet mysterious movie. 26. Real Murder, an Aurora Teagarden mystery. Aurora Teagarden is back, but this time a member of her crime-kicking crew is suddenly murdered. Now it is up to her to find the person responsible and fast. As her mission continues, she must race with time to make sure no one else ends up killed. You'll love this mystery movie that is jam-packed with action and thrill. 25. The Watsons Go to Birmingham. When their troublemaker of a son leaves no choice but for his parents to make their decision of moving to Birmingham, Alabama official, the Watsons become a part of American history. Upon moving, the Watson family of 5 experience the March on Washington and the historical civil rights movement. This summer changes everything for both the adults and children of this film. Watch this Hallmark movie to catch a glimpse of American history and gain new perspective on the initiation of it all. 24. Love Again. Love is in the air. Well, for some. When their daughter is about to get married, a married couple struggling to keep their marriage alive must put their differences aside to ensure their daughter's wedding is perfect. Through the spirit of weddings, the couple find that their marriage may be able to be saved after all. Thus, love prevails. 23. The 9 Lives of Christmas. When a young man adopts a cat for the holidays, he ends up meeting a veterinary student, Marilee, both of whom he is able to grow a connection with. Although he has committed to being a bachelor, he can't help but admire Marilee's outlook on life and pets. This is the ideal film for animal lovers who appreciate their feline friends. 22. Aurora Teagarden Mysteries, Heist and Seek. While taking a well-deserved break at the Lawrencetown Library, a beautiful crown has been stolen from its display. Luckily, Aurora and the Real Murder Club are already on the case to find the missing crown. You'll love this installment of the Aurora Teagarden mystery series to see Aurora take on a crime with class. 21. Christmas in Vienna. When a violinist becomes discouraged from her passion, she takes a trip to Vienna in hopes of inspiration. Upon doing this, she not only finds her lost inspiration, but even meets him in person. She ends up earning the once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to perform in Vienna. Watch this film to experience Christmas and vacation all in one. 20. Midnight Masquerade. When Elise meets Rob at a costume ball, they can't help but fall for each other. In the midst of romance, Rob finds out that someone is after Elise's inheritance. Now he must stand up for her and prove his love. This film is filled with twists and turns that you're bound to love if you want a movie that is entertaining from the second it begins to the closing credits. 19. Once Upon a Prince. Susanna keeps up an ordinary girl appearance, but all that is turned around when she meets an actual prince, and from there, they become inseparable. Then, Susanna becomes shocked to find out that her prince is about to be crowned as king. The story gets even more complicated as the queen finds it hard to approve of her son's new love interest. Hallmark's Once Upon a Prince is a must-see for those that want a mix of rivalry and royalty. 18. Framed for Murder, a fixer-upper mystery. Shannon is back to fight crime in this fixer-upper mystery. She is a renowned home renovator who has currently established herself in Lighthouse Cove, a small resort town. Just as she starts to settle into a new home and project, her neighbor and kind friend is tragically murdered. Now, she makes it her mission to build a case to inspect the murder with the help of a famous crime reporter who she later befriends. This is a thrill-filled action and murder Hallmark film that will leave you guessing to the very end. 17. Christmas at Dollywood. Dolly Parton is the star of this Hallmark Christmas movie. After an event coordinator from the Big Apple travels to Tennessee to plan a Christmas celebration at Dollywood, she reluctantly has to team up with a man who could care less for wanting help from a partner. Watch this film to see Dolly Parton shine, and some enemies to lovers action. 16. Sarah, Plain and Tall. We have to throw in a 90s classic. When a farmer named Jacob becomes a widow after losing his wife, he begins to realize how hard it is to take care of both the kids and the land. Then, he puts an ad out seeking a wife that would bring sustainability to his life. A woman named Sarah responds to the ad with a simple description of herself as Sarah, plain and tall. When she finally meets Jacob, the children begin to challenge Sarah's initiation into the family. You'll love this film that has old-fashioned feel to it. 15. Crossword Mysteries, Proposing Murder. A dear friend of Tess Harper's has been murdered. Now, she must figure out who did it with the help of Lieutenant Logan O'Connor. She knows for one thing that the day he was murdered was the same day the New York Sentinel Crosswords published his proposal of marriage. This action-packed film is worthy of a watch, especially if you want to see Lacey Chabert in a mystery movie. 14. Don't Go Breaking My Heart. A reporter, played by Ryan Pavey, goes to investigate a heartbreak boot camp. The owner of the camp claims that their facility mends broken hearts, and now Pavey's character must find out whether or not it is a scam. An original, captivating plot and Ryan Pavey. What could get better than this? 13. Royal Hearts. A rancher from Montana receives notice that he is the remaining heir to the Kingdom of Morania. Now, his daughter must convince him to take the throne. This Hallmark movie gives you a good mix of royalty and country life, the best of both worlds. Also, James Brolin is in this film, so you definitely don't want to miss it. 12. Elevator Girl. In this Hallmark classic, Lacey Chabert stars as a working-class woman who enjoys pursuing the leisurely, carefree life. Alongside, a thriving lawyer realizes he has totally fallen for her, which initially confuses him. As the story continues, sparks fly between the two when they get stuck in an elevator together. Their differing worlds collide, and the two young people are able to see past their differences and find one thing in common: love. Opposites really do attract. This film is a great addition to any early 2000s film marathon. 11. Home by Spring. An event planner heads to her hometown upon receiving an opportunity that she could not refuse. She reunites with her family and an old lover who all help her pull off the event. Now, she comes to the realization of how much she misses her home, and her urge to stay overwhelms her. You'll love this Hallmark film to get the feel of small-town living. 10. Flower Shop Mystery, Dearly Depotted. Abby is a florist at Bloomers. She is also going to be a bridesmaid in a wedding where she will be arranging the flowers as well. When a wedding crasher is found murdered, Abby must get to the bottom of it. A floral mystery movie starring Brooke Shields is everything Hallmark fans can ask for. You'll love this Hallmark movie from start to finish. 9. Royally Ever After. A schoolteacher is left puzzled when she finds out her husband is to be a prince. This means that she is to become a princess. There's only one problem: getting the prince's family to approve of her. Facing disapproval from your partner's family is a sticky situation many have been in. Check out this movie to see how it all works out, and if love wins in the end. 8. Love, Fall, and Order. The Fall Fest is going to take a team to set up this year, and Claire is all in. Claire, played by Erin Cahill, heads to her hometown to help with the preparations when she is confronted by her high school enemy. She despises having to work with him. But just as she feels her trip has been ruined, unexpected sparks fly and love conquers all. You'll absolutely adore Erin Cahill and the enemies to lovers trope that she pursues in this film. 7. The Christmas Train. An aspiring author hops on a train from Washington to California to come home from Christmas and find some potential inspiration for his new book. However, upon boarding the train he comes face to face with an old enemy. You'll love this movie if you want to see the enemies to lovers trope exhibited, but this time with a Christmas theme. 6. Love on the Sidelines. When a dispirited fashion designer fails to make ends meet, she lands a job as a personal assistant for a football quarterback. She knows almost nothing about football, as does he about fashion or having a woman around. Slowly, but surely, the two grow past their differences and instead learn from their varying worlds and passions. Opposites attract, and Hallmark just proved it. 5. The Christmas Card. A woman from California sends a hopeful Christmas card to a soldier who is fighting in Afghanistan. He completes his duties that are to be done on tour, and upon its completion, he decides to find who the mystery woman is for himself. Thus, begins this romantic journey to the United States to find out who the anonymous sender is. This is a must-see if you want a comforting Christmas movie. 4. A Winter Princess. Princess Carly has gone incognito. When she begins work at a ski resort, Carly gets put in charge of the resort's anniversary celebration. This leads her to teaming up with Brent, the owner's brother, to put on the spectacular celebration. Now, will she give up her incognito status and let love do its thing first? Find out in this winter-themed Hallmark film that will have you reminiscing on the frosty weather and spirit. 3. Chance at Romance. When Samantha swindles herself into an online relationship with a well-known photographer, she couldn't be more thrilled. Just as her happiness peaks, she comes to find out that she has been communicating with the photographer's son the entire time. Plot twists will be your best friend throughout this movie, which is exactly why it is a must-see. 2. Royal Matchmaker. A respected king hires a matchmaker to find an ideal wife for his son, who is to inherit the throne. As the nation prepares to celebrate the royal match that is approaching, the matchmaker makes it just before her intended deadline and finds the perfect wife. Just one thing, she realizes she has fallen for him. Hallmark's Royal Matchmaker will give you the feel of a kingdom and throne awaiting you. 1. Christmas at Pemberley Manor. This comfy Christmas film starts off as an event planner searches for the perfect holiday party venue. While doing so, she ends up finding the perfect one but finds herself in a riff with the owner. He plans to sell it, so now the event planner must do everything in her power to convince him not to. Christmas just isn't complete without Hallmark, and this film hits just the spot. Thank you for watching. Leave a comment with your all-time favorite Hallmark movie, and visit sarahscoop.com for the scoop on all of your favorite things.